Turquoise edition. So I want to welcome all of my friends here, J Alic, Sandra J Wilson, and Tim. Just Tim Davidson, for all y'all who don't know Tim. And I want to tell a couple of quick stories first. All right. Well, do I want to start with a story, or do I want to start with housekeeping? All right, let's do a little bit of quick housekeeping. All right. When we pay attention to other people and their work in an intentional way, that's what I call unleashing hotness. Okay. It's just that. It feels good when we do that. It builds on Dale Carnegie's idea that the sweetest sound anybody can hear is the sound of their own name. That's it. It's not crazy. It's not weird. It's just paying attention to other people. That is the point of this show, is to celebrate other people and their work, period. End of story. So we're going to do that today, and we're going to do it for 12 people. We're going to announce them, bring them in. It's going to be super fun. Right. The next thing I need to do is take a moment for our official sponsor, which is my employer, Infuse Media. We are focused on demand performance delivered. And what this means to mostly B2B tech companies is we help them to achieve their demand generation goals by assisting with audience intelligence, content intelligence, and content distribution intelligence. Okay, that's really what it's all about. We help them get to the end game that they're trying to achieve. All right, so housekeeping out of the way, got to tell the story. So I have been saying that we're going to reveal the TBG. And what does that mean? All right, so the TBG is a secret club of people who happen to have turquoise backgrounds, okay? And so Jay and Sandra and Tim, we all had turquoise backgrounds. So one day, it's early in the Social Saturday movement, and I noticed that all the people, well, a big chunk of people from this little company called Metadata.io is in the MarTech space. And Tim, I think you probably know them quite well. But they all had orange backgrounds. Okay, you look around, they've got it. So Jason and Mark and a bunch of Alex, a bunch of them have all these orange backgrounds. And when they show up on your post and they like posts, it's like an army. Okay, it's like an army of orange that hits, and you can see it, right? Just like boom, 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 boom. And they're all like together. They're allied, right? And I want some of that. I want to be part of that. How do I get that? Well, it occurred to me that I could go out and I could find other people with turquoise backgrounds and create my own little army. So we started it, right? I went out, I found Matt Page, for example. I found Jay, and we were doing poetry together. And, Sandra was obvious choice, right? And Marissa Speranzi and Britta Neely, a bunch of others. And you all joined in. You were all like, yeah, we can make this a secret club. Like anybody who's got turquoise, we can just be like. And so then we needed a name. And for some reason or another, I had been drinking a little bit and was sitting on the sofa. And we were calling it the Turquoise Background Club. But for whatever reason, it came out as TBG. Don't know why. But it stuck. And none of you guys were all cool with it. You're just like, TBG is totally great. No worries. And I remember one dude, and I can't remember the guy, but he said, I can't deal with it. It has to be TBC. And he just like his brain melted and he bailed out. And I can't even remember who the guy was, but he just couldn't handle it. And so I just love you guys for being cool like that and letting the TBG roll. And it's so much fun to drop little Easter eggs here and there. And I love referring to it. So, thanks for keeping your backgrounds. Even though we don't really spend much time in that little DM chat, it's still fun. And, at least fun for me. It's a fun story that I has made LinkedIn more rewarding for me. So with that, I'm going to give the stage to you guys, right? We're each going to take a turn talking about something that's important to us, why we're here, why we love this experience of being on LinkedIn, and what you're up to right now. So that is going to go to you first, Jay. What's cooking in your world?
Me first. First off, I really want to say hello, everyone. I'll try to do two things at once, and I'll try to be in the comments as well, because I'm very big on commenting. Second thing, Trevor, I will probably hate you forever for butchering my name in the beginning of this intro.
Uh-oh. Okay. Well, you got to get it.
Yeah. I'm just gonna lead with that. The real way to pronounce my name is Jasmin Alic, but I have a story. You know that saying when everybody says, like, if I had $1 for every single time someone and then something. For me, that version is for every time someone butchered my name. I would really be a millionaire by now. So what happened was, over the years, I just started signing, like at the end of emails, at the end of messages, just the letter J. And it just stuck with everyone, you know? So J is kind of the official name, and it's been like that for years now. What I do, just very quickly so I can drop the mic off to Sandra and Tim, I'm a copywriter, I'm a brand strategist, and I'm a creative director. In a nutshell, my brain works 24/7, bubbling with ideas, and I'm just a creative person overall. I got 2 businesses. I got a team of super creative people at Vin Cordis Media. Win Cordis literally means win hearts. That's what we're trying to do, and that's what we're trying to help clients do. And I got my personal brand called Hey Jay, which is, again, quite literally what every single client tells me at the beginning of every interaction. Hey, Jay, can you help with something? So I just kind of kept it in there. And yeah, it resonated with people. And I'm also active on LinkedIn, pretty big on commenting, always talking about commenting being the best thing you can do, even better than posting. And I feel like that's how I came across all of you guys, through comments primarily, and then it was something else, whether it's following your content or, you know, DMing or whatever, but comments primarily. That's the number one thing on LinkedIn. And I'll stop with that. Yeah.
Well, you know, Jay, okay, now I'm all messed up, but it was poetry. I remember that, right? We were going back and forth. We were doing rhymes at first, and it was in the comments, and that was so much fun. I don't remember whose post. It might have been mine or yours or something. Anyway, you showed up, and we went back for like 4 or 5 cycles.
It was me. I had a bad poetry day post.
Okay.
I think everybody in the comments then chimed in, and they were trying their best to outrhyme me.
Yeah.
The one thing you have to know about me, I posted about it this morning. I used to be a rapper, 5 years, going strong, everything. So if somebody tries to outrhyme me, I take it as a personal challenge.
Nice.
So don't try and do that. I know Tim does his thing, so we can try and have a rap battle. But all
right. So yeah, for the record,
I really take that personally. So yeah, I guess that's how we met. And then TBG came along, and as you said, it was supposed to be TBC.
Yeah, but
Turquoise Background Club. And I do remember people leaving in the background. They were hurt. They call it the TBC.
Yeah, I couldn't handle it.
TBG just sounded better. Let's be fair. I mean, TBG just sounds good.
It does. It just rolls off. You know, it's just it's easy. So now I want to hear. Okay, because most of my network, most people I hang out with, most people I talk to on a daily basis are in the U.S. and you're not. So what I want to know about, like, so are you from, you know, Bosnia? I mean, what's happening there? Because I've never been there. I don't know. It's hard for me to relate to what your experience is there.
Yeah, so I am originally Bosnian. The full name of the country is Bosnia and Herzegovina.
Okay.
Born and raised here, actually in Bosnia right now. I travel a whole lot. But yeah, I've just been working, I guess, on a global level, at a global scale with these big brands. And I don't know, I just never talk about the element of my work where I'm the guy from Bosnia. It actually didn't come up for like 10. I've been doing this for like 10 years now already, like freelance copywriting and just creative work in general, working online. But it's never come up until recently, and it really resonated with people. Because I had this story where somebody once told me, and it was really not even a bad experience. I was talking to this other copywriter that I really admired, and I was like learning a lot from them. This was probably like 8-9 years ago, even early 2010s. So I was talking to them, trying to like bounce ideas off of them every now and then, learn something, you know, learn some new tricks, because they had more experience back then. And what he told me was, dude, you're Bosnian. Like, you'll never be the same as us. Just do your own thing in your own bubble and don't worry about it. And he really didn't mean it in a bad way. Like, I know we were just joking around. He meant it that way. But it stuck with me. Like, I am a Bosnian, dude. I know how to write so well. My English, like the accent, the way that I talk is definitely not non-native. Like, nobody could ever guess. And people always have a hard time pinpointing my accent. Like, where is it from? I don't know. It's just a mixture of Eminem. I always like had this internal battle inside of me where I'm like, I have to do better. I have to prove them wrong. Like, I have to be the top guy in the industry, like the copywriter that everybody wants to work with. And I think I kind of achieved that over the years, like Fortune 500 brands left and right. 99% of my business comes through word of mouth. I have not sent a business proposal in 5+ years.
Nice.
And yeah, that's really a, prideful moment for me. So all of that while still quote unquote being a Bosnian, being just a Bosnian, it's like a prideful moment for me that I really feel like it's one of those successful moments in life. It's not even a moment, it's just a successful thing that you can always talk about. It's a conversation starter for sure. So yeah.
Awesome. Well, thank you for bringing that. I'm glad I asked, because I seriously thought you were like from LA or something. And then I was like, I remember I asked you about that and you're like, dude, you're crazy. But all right. So we need, in the interest of time, we're going to go talk to Sandra J right now. So Sandra J, you have the floor. Tell us what you're here. What drives you to on LinkedIn every day? Your experience with the TBG, anything you want. It's all you.
I don't know if you want me to talk about the TVG, only because I was invited into the group originally. I was actually one of the first ones in the group, but I had to leave only because there's too much noise going on. So, but I love you guys.
What drives you to on LinkedIn every day? I'm going to turn that off. Your experience with the TBG, anything you want. It's all you.
I don't know if you want me to talk about the TVG, only because I was invited into the group originally. I was actually one of the first ones in the group.
We got a little double action going here.
I had to leave only because there's too much noise going on. So, but I love you guys.
What drives you to on LinkedIn every day? I'm going to turn that off. Your experience with the TBG, anything you want. It's all you. Okay. Looks like
TVG, only because I was invited into the group originally. I was actually one of the first.
There's a little technical challenge here. So we are, let's see, Dina Berry, TBG is the Turquoise Background Club. It was a secret DM group that Jay and Tim and Sandra J and I were on, and are in, actually. It still exists, but the secret part of it has been unmasked. So it was pretty fun. So Sandra, I need you to turn off. I'm pretty sure it's you who has another speaker source, because it's coming through on a delay and it's kind of throwing us off a little bit. So Tim, while I have you, the floor is yours. Let's roll.
Awesome. Yeah. Thanks for having me on. It's one of those, I don't hang out on LinkedIn too much on Saturdays, but when I started learning about the Social Saturday thing, I still don't participate too much, but it's crazy to see this show and some other ones I've seen out there. They're just growing like crazy from it. But essentially, during the day, I'm a marketing director at a company called Directive, which is a performance marketing agency for software brands. And at night, which is also turned into the day, I'm pretty active on LinkedIn and TikTok and some other places. But I make semi-funny videos. I'm just trying to set the expectation. I know some people are like, oh, they're actually funny. Well, I want to set the expectation. They're okay. But it's basically about like B2B marketing and sales content. I try to put in humor wherever I can. I'm not a TEDx speaker. I don't have any live shows, so no pitches there. But I got a puppy. My only pitch is just watch a video and give me feedback. I don't get a lot of feedback.
Really?
So I get like good feedback. I want like bad feedback. Like,
okay.
Make things better type of feedback, if it's possible.
That's interesting. It is. I mean, it's interesting because it's hard to give bad feedback. To be honest.
Yeah. Oh, it's very hard. I don't do it.
And I mean, because we don't because when I experience your videos, right, your TikTok stuff, mostly I feel like, holy crap, I can't do that. Okay. I can't come up with the script. I can't execute all of the cuts that you do, right? So you have so just so everybody knows who's here, right? Because Tim's so modest, that you do a really great job of having these multiple characters, all of whom you inhabit, right? So you'll be the boss, you'll be the sales rep, you'll be the marketing guy. I'm missing the sales rep in the hat. I haven't seen that lately because
Yeah.
Or maybe you've been doing it, but I haven't seen it or haven't registered with it. So the creativity that you bring to that, right, is so fresh and so much fun. It's a willingness to kind of just make fun of the whole thing, right? And it's kind of came up yesterday in some comments where we're all in this sort of dance right together, the SDRs and the sales reps and the marketers and we all have kind of these roles that we inhabit, right? We kind of play them, and everybody knows the jargon and it's like this, it's like a river almost, and you tap into that, that energy, that some of the frustrations of like, man, I sent out 1,000 emails and they all got ignored, right? And this was the best email I ever wrote, and then and I don't know, you just kind of speak into that. So that's the experience that I'm having right now with your content. And I had so much equipment envy. Like the other day when I grabbed that picture of you, I don't know where you were, in a closet or something, and you had like this G.I. Joe tripod, you know, and you got that mic that sticks out and this super equipment. Man, it was so awesome. And I was like, yeah. So I have a great experience with it, but I will look and see if I can find things that will help you improve. And we'll do it on the download. So, Jay, that. I know you have a lot to say about Tim's content too. So let's hear it, man.
Look, I found Tim. By the way, I really want to hear from Sandra again. I'm hopeful that audio issue has been fixed. I really want to hear from her again.
Yeah. So, I do too. We're gonna get that fixed. Hang on. Okay. So go ahead.
About Tim. I actually found about Tim for the first time some months ago. I was just scrolling through LinkedIn, not TikTok, LinkedIn. And one of his videos came up. I forgot what it was, but I know it was one of those like multiple personality types where like somebody asks a question and then he answers it. Other personality, B2B, something. I had no idea. I don't remember, like this was months ago. But I do remember thinking that, my goodness, this is super unique. And I immediately hit follow. Like that's what hooked me to Tim. It was the personality thing. It wasn't necessarily even the content thing. It was just the way he hooks you in. And then when he's talking to you, you really feel like he's talking to you. That's what hooked me to Tim. I feel like, again, Tim, I apologize. This is not bad feedback. Okay, dude. It's good feedback. But I really feel like in every single video, that's what kind of hooks me. And that's what keeps me there. Even if it's for like 30, 60 seconds, doesn't matter. You really have a way of presenting a story quickly and to the point. And doesn't matter what the topic, like the very specific issue is, I feel like you do it really well. And I think that also translates to your LinkedIn posts when you do those. Because the goal nowadays, especially with the shortened attention spans, especially, it's just how we psychologically behave. Basically, all of us humans, you got like 2 to 3 seconds to hook somebody in and start telling your story. Because if they're not listening within those 2 to 3 seconds, if they're not hooked in, you have failed. And I feel like Tim, he doesn't fail with that. Within those 2 to 3 seconds, he always hooks you in. And then you just, stick around for the video. And yeah, Tim,
appreciate that, man.
I could say something bad at the very end, or at least about the puppies, but I love puppies. I don't know, man. You asked for bad feedback. I'm sorry I couldn't give it to you.
The other thing too is they're perfect. Like the length is just right?
Yeah, like always, like spot on.
It is a spot on, because you can go too long, and you can go and sometimes you can be too short, and it's just right in there. It's like a perfect amount. So with that, we are 20 minutes in already. All right. We need, we're going to have to figure out if we can get Sandra's voice back. She's off mute. She should be good to go on my side. So hopefully the system will recognize her mic shortly. And, so any audio that's actually playing, we had a little bit of double echo going on there. So we're going to start with the Hotness Unleashing rounds. Okay. We got to get that done. We got 40 minutes to roll through this. And I am so excited because you guys brought some people to me this week that have been on my radar for a long time, but I have just not had a chance to really dive into and really get to know. And so have invested in that, and, am excited to do that. So, it's going to be awesome. So I'm going to try one quick thing. I'm just going to turn Sandra off entirely and turn her back on. And maybe that will, that'll help, because your mic is muted. Sorry, everybody. This is a real drag. So, Jay, I would like you to start with your first Hotness Unleasher announcement, please.
Okay. Can I just pick any one of my three, or do I pick from the list that we had?
Well, you pick one of your three. Okay. This is how this rolls. And your Unleash Your Buddy is going to help you out. Now let's go with let's see here.
Who's going to be my Unleash Your Buddy?
Yeah, let's go with not Sandra until we get Sandra's thing figured out. So man, this is frustrating. That we can't hear her. Dang it. So you guys can still hear me. Sandra, why don't you pull out of the room entirely and then come back in? Because on my end, you're not muted. All right. So Jay, let's roll. So who is your first Hotness Unleasher of the week?
My first Hotness Unleasher, not necessarily of the week.
Of your life.
Of LinkedIn is Miss Emily Mireault. I feel like this person, and I'll probably link her profile somewhere in okay, there we go. This miss right here. I had the pleasure of following her for the last probably like 5 to 6 months. The way she came on my radar was she was looking for a job through LinkedIn. Like she was just in between jobs and she was looking for a new role. And my goodness, when you know that term, you know that phrase when we say the world tuned in, this is literally what happened with Emily. Like the world was tuned in into her job search. She was so freaking good at sort of marketing her opinions, marketing her thoughts, marketing what she thinks is good in a workplace culture, marketing what she thinks is good in leadership and how teams should work. All of these things. I was hooked for months and months and months at a time. I was one of her biggest supporters. Every single comment, every single post, I was in there. We were DMing. We also had the pleasure of talking a couple of times like this. She is an A+ person, first and foremost. She's also a terrific LinkedIn creator. I feel like her content is just the style that I prefer. Very concise. It's super formatted, meaning it's like it doesn't have super long lines where you feel like you're reading, like you're literally just consuming. Like it's bits and pieces. It's like crumbs, that you're just taking in one by one. It's super easy to consume, super easy to understand. And I feel like the topics, by the way, she doesn't know, she didn't know that I would mention her here. So hopefully this will come as a big surprise. Emily,
I didn't tell her. I didn't tell her, man.
I did not tell her either. Yeah, so Emily, if you're going to be watching this, hi, I'm including you as the Hotness Unleasher of LinkedIn #1.
Nice.
At least for me.
Congratulations, Emily. Yeah. Man, I got a chance. I mean, she and I have been connected for a little bit, and I've been seeing her through. And I wanted to say a couple quick things. So first off, her brand is so awesome, right? This electric smile that she has, right? That is consistent. Like we can learn something from that, right? It's her like this. Every picture I saw of her is she's got the smile going, right? And I think these little things that we can do, right? We can learn from each other. On like how do we see somebody? Okay, I mean I know she's probably not always happy. I mean who is, right? But at the same time, that's a brand move. The other thing I saw really truly too, and I do think it's a massive compliment to her from you, how much you like her content as a copywriter, right? And how you call that out. I mean that's insane. But I wanted to reflect too, like as a marketer, right, on LinkedIn, it's hard to get the right balance of your message, right? Like your brand message that like your employer, right? And what you do for money and your personal message. And I think Emily really does a great job of that, right? She's got a great kind of where she's asking questions about like workplace culture and things like that. And that's what Nectar's about, right? That's kind of their thing, but it isn't like overt, like buy us, right? Here's our val prop. Here's how we, sign up for a demo, that kind of thing. So yeah, I was 100% down. I was excited to kind of roll through some of her content and kind of get just a refresh. And I'm excited to get to know her better now that she is a Hotness Unleasher. All right, so Sandra, do we have you on?
Well, can you hear me?
Yay!
Yay!
Okay, you're back. Yay! Okay, good.
There's no feedback or anything like that.
Nope.
Okay, good. So what do you, hi, everybody. I'm back. Sorry for all that. I don't know what it was. I think it was just maybe I'm on a delay here because of where I live, but I just put my earphones in and it seems to be okay now. So good stuff.
Perfect. Yes.
Yeah, so I don't really have much to promote for myself. I just want to be here. I'm on LinkedIn. I'm fairly new to LinkedIn. I'm 6 months in, so I'm kind of learning from everyone else, like you guys. I just followed Tim yesterday, and Jasmin. I think I've been following for a couple of weeks, and Trevor, of course, for a little longer than that. So I'm fairly new, but I'm really excited to create content and interact with other people. And I find this one of the most supportive forums ever. Like, I was on Facebook since 2009, and I haven't been over there in 3 weeks, which my family's wondering where I am now, but whatever. But it's wonderful to be here. And thank you for inviting me.
Absolutely. And I'm thrilled that you're here. I'm thrilled that, despite your departure from the TBG, that your willingness to still be a part of this group today, because this is the Turquoise edition of the Hotness Unleashers show, and I'm so excited to hear. All right, so I'm going to put the floor to you to unleash your first person on us. Who do you got?
I have Susannah Dawn, or was it Nadine Heir? Nadine Heir.
You want to go with Nadine? Okay.
Let's go with Nadine. Because actually, the great thing about Nadine is she is an incredible copywriter. She's a head copywriter for Ament. And I actually had her on my show last Monday, and it was on fire. And that was the most comments we've ever had on the show, because she's got a great following. I have a great following, and there was just a great connection between her and I. And she's just absolutely, she's funny, she's smart. Her writing is witty, and it just draws you in. She tells great stories, and she really knows how to connect with people. And her boss joined the conversation as well, which was nice. And she's just got a great support. She has this kind of coffee and cats that she talks about a lot. Like, she has her cat as a star. But mostly I find she's really supportive in the community, as well as just being extremely talented. I will say that. And she's kind of like my sister, because we're both expats. I'm from Toronto, and she's from England, I believe, and we both live in Mexico, although in different states. So we have a lot in common as far as that's concerned as well, but love her to death.
Love it. So I am also your support buddy for Nadine on this show, and I was looking through her content too, and I was like, these cats, like that's a thing, right? And she does such a great job. She had this recent post that was this cat, like, up, down, up, down, up, down. It was so funny. And like, and the cat, like, oh, guess what? You can go to an office or go to an in real life event so that you can get a lanyard. And I was like, oh, that's so good. And you can play with your cat, with the lanyard. Like, it was so understated and just such a great, like, kind of like in, sort of like a Tim vibe, right? Just to kind of jab some of the conventions that we all sort of buy into, right? And just like,
right,
come on, the lanyards are good for playing with your cat when you get home, right? And half the stuff I pick up is like that. And it's so funny that I saw when you had Nadine, I was on LinkedIn and I had a search, right? And sometimes the search will stick. Right. And so all of a sudden all I was seeing was like a hashtag that she was part of. And it was like Nadine. And there was somebody else kind of mixed in there. I was like, what, and it took me a minute to like figure out where I was and why that was happening. So congratulations, Nadine. You are Sandra J's first Hotness Unleasher. All right. So Tim, floor goes to you, man. Who is your first Hotness Unleasher?
All right. First up, we got... All right, so truthfully, I'm kind of piggybacking off of, because I was in Austin this week and I met all three of my Hotness Unleashers. First one is Zheng.
Okay.
I'm blanking on his last name. I hope that's right.
Yes.
He's doing something different. He's the founder of SalesRap.io. It's basically B2B sales rap. So, hey, if you want to make a little hit with him, I'm sure he'd be in. He would definitely be in. But the thing that I really liked about him. The thing I really like about him is just being able to talk to him. His vision's so much bigger. I mean, he's really thinking a lot about content creator world for B2B, and there's obviously just, in my mind, there's a huge opportunity there. But his the way he's thinking about building out teams and building out platforms, like it's going to be big. It's just the market's not there yet, but it will. I think it will be there. He's very, very talented. He knows what he's doing. I think he's just going to be huge. It's really interesting.
Man, I'm excited to you brought him. I didn't know him before, and I saw some of his stuff, and I was like, holy smokes, this is rad. I mean, what did you think about it, Jay?
I was about to comment on this anyway, so thank you for asking. Ding is, I feel like, one of those guys on LinkedIn you just have to follow. Like, doesn't matter if you're into music, into rap music at all. I feel like his content is just good. Like, as a copywriter, that's how I would describe him. Like, as a rapper, as a content creator, probably as a sales rep or as a person in sales, he is just good. And when Tim said this was his first pick, I'm like, yes, a rapper, finally, because I'm big on rap music. So yeah, I could go on and digest his videos one by one and critique the bars, if you will. But we don't have time for that. But yeah, I'm just gonna say, Tim, great pick, man. I feel like anybody who doesn't follow Ding should definitely hit that follow button and the bell button on his profile. He does have a bell button. But yeah, it's just, I mean, definitely worthy of Hotness Unleasher, because those bars are hot, man. That's all I can tell you.
Well, you know, the thing that's hard to do in our business is bring in other people, right? Particularly for any kind of video content, right? We just kind of, at least in my experience, and I think that's probably with Tim's too, based on the kind of content Tim's making. It's hard to get to get schedules aligned and get people in real life. And Ding is doing that, right? Ding has got like multiple people in his, helping him with his content and creating that. That blew my mind. I was like, dude,
I think about Ding, I feel like this is why he's so good at sales, right? Because his content, the way it's structured right now, could work on any platform. Like, period, any platform. Doesn't matter where you put it. Even if it's like a super serious businessy platform, he would disrupt the flow entirely and people will be talking about it. Even if it's like only entertainment content like TikTok, YouTube, his content will work there. So I feel like it really speaks to the sort of elevated level where he's at in terms of thinking. I know Tim said at the very beginning, he's got a bigger vision. I feel like his videos show that.
Awesome. Well, congratulations, Ding. I am so glad that now you are part of the Hotness Unleasher world. All right. So my first Hotness Unleasher is going to be Lynn Daniel. Now, I want to call out Lynn because she reflects, well, first off, she's been a participant kind of in my Hotness Unleasher world since the beginning. And I, in fact, sort of gave her like a before we even started really doing this in the first couple episodes with Stephen Ng and Julie Morey, Daniel Knight, and Allison McMaster, I kind of nominated her because she was such a heavy participant, right, in the show, right? She was commenting and she was just there. But if you follow her content, well, for one, she's got this granddaughter and she makes all these really great pictures and stuff. And but she's so like just tuned into like what it means to be real life and what it means to invest in yourself and to be really like aware of who you are and what's happening in your world, right? And she recently posted this the story about her this heart surgery, right? I'm like, holy crap! I mean, are you serious? Like, and there's a picture of her, right? Like, I think it was her. I mean, that was the representation, at least. That there was a tumor in her heart, right? And she's good to go now. But this was a few years ago, and I'm like, wow, Lynn, you've survived some stuff, and I really just wanted to acknowledge that, you know, she has been a supporter of the Hotness Unleasher show and this whole notion of Hotness Unleashing, and that she's really willing to just engage and talk and kind of get into it. And you know, she started her own live, right? So I'm all down with that, and I listened to it, and it was brilliant and fun and humble, and I learned from her, right? And she inspires me to take better care of myself too, physically. So I just wanted to call Lynn out as, like, you know, an original Hotness Unleasher and really shine that light back on her. Do any of you guys, have you guys run across her yet?
Well, yeah, I
Oh,
briefly looked at her profile, and she's there was one that really struck me was reset, refocus, readjust, restart as many times as you need to, and just never give up. And that sounds exactly like what she went through with her surgery. And I saw that photo of her cracked open, like the scar from that surgery, and it was like, it's so jarring. Yet she went through that. She's still here. She's so positive. I watched a couple of her videos as well, and she's just so kind and loving, and just exudes what you want in the community to connect with her. Absolutely beautiful.
Yeah, I'm just like, every time I run across her stuff, I'm just like, oh yeah, like she just brings this sort of sense of calm and affirms like an investment in self-improvement. And yeah, I'm thrilled to know her, and I love that she's been such a supporter of the show. So Lynn, you're my Hotness Unleasher, my first one for this show. All right, so congratulations. All right, now without further ado, we're going to go into round 2 because, you know, we ditched the whole like reflection segment because nobody was into that. So, all right, yeah, Jay, who is your second Hotness Unleasher, man? You are up.
Okay, I'm up again. Okay, I had by the way, I had a long list, so narrowing it down to 2 or 3 people was hard. Yeah,
I know it's hard.
So number 2 for me today is going to be the big purple guy, Jesse, and I don't want to mispronounce his surname. It's because he's Dutch. It's like Van Bruegel or Van Bruegel. I don't even know how to even pronounce that, so I'm not even going to try. I call him the purple guy. He's not even Jesse anymore. With me, he's had a rebrand, a rename, if you will. He's called the purple guy. And I will just briefly talk about Jesse because I feel like his content and the level of quality of his expertise speaks for itself. If you're not following Jesse and you want to grow on LinkedIn, if you want tips on how to create content, position yourself, even if you're just starting, or if you're in the middle of your LinkedIn journey, or even if you have some traction and you want to level up, Jesse is the guy to follow. I'm telling you, I will just give him a piece of compliment that I never gave him like in person. We have talked a bunch. Jesse and I are in content. We are literally chatting every single day. I'm just gonna, I guess this is more of a testimonial of my experience with him so far. If I had to pick one person on LinkedIn to give me LinkedIn coaching, Jesse would be the guy.
Wow. That is a compliment right there.
That is a compliment, really. And I really, truly mean that. Jesse is that good with understanding LinkedIn, understanding people, and understanding what sort of content works for you. Because I feel like that third thing that I just listed is the biggest problem for any content creator. We always see things that work for other people, and we try to replicate that same sort of content. It might not work for me. It works for them. Like the selfies might work for Teslim and Luke Matthews, right? They're big. It works for them. Their personality just shines through those selfies, right? The textual based posts, like strictly expertise for Dina Chalakovic, for example, the number one, personal branding profile at the moment in the world. Like people see those types of things and they want to replicate that. Jesse's the first guy to tell you don't. Like he's super, super in your face when it comes to that. He's a true coach. So he's also got his Creator Academy, but I'm sure whoever ends up following him, they're going to find out about this because he's really big on LinkedIn. He says he's bullish on LinkedIn. He's also got a newsletter. Really good guy. LinkedIn coaching, number 1 guy for me, Jesse. Purple guy.
Nice. Awesome. Thank you so much.
I must say, this is one of my recent follows, and I've been binging his content. And his text posts, they're like no bullshit, right? They're just like straight to the point. But you mentioned like the selfies. If I was just reading the text posts, I would think he's very intimidating. But the selfies with the smile, I'm like, oh, okay. It's like a little different feeling to it.
He's experimenting.
Yeah.
He's the first guy to experiment too. He'll tell you that. Like you have to experiment with your content, and he does it too. Like he's really, I mean, he's a LinkedIn coach, so he has to know these things, So yeah, Jesse's really good. By the way, Costa Rica, wherever he is right now, he's just enjoying life. I envy him for that. Envy him in a positive way. I really do.
Yeah.
Awesome. All right. Jessie, congratulations. You are Jay's second Hotness Unleasher of episode, the Turquoise edition. Okay.
Just 5 more seconds. Sorry, guys.
Okay,
I also
go.
did not tell Jessie I was going to mention him. So I'm just going to tag him in the comments right now.
Yeah. So you guys know by now that I'm all sort of, I love the drama of a secret, right? It's like, it makes things sort of fun, right? And to reveal that secret, right, with the TVG, right? That was the kind of the basis. It's like, let's not tell anybody, it's a secret thing, right? And this Hotness Unleasher show is all kind of about that. It's like, are you going to be announced as a Hotness Unleasher? Because these are personal, right? Like, this is like my request to you was like, go find somebody who's affecting you, right? Who's impacting you personally, and share that with the world, right? And because I think there's a lot of people who see, you three particularly as leaders, right? As people who are influential and who are making a difference out here and who are doing the right thing. And you three are all my personal Hotness Unleashers, right? So I mean, it's like I have the benefit of like, I get tons and tons of people I can talk about, but I want you to know that, right? It's important to, I think just keep a little bit back, right? So it's a little secret. So with that, Sandra, you are up for your second Hotness Unleasher.
Yes, which I kind of let out before, but I know we had an order, and because of the bike issue, I was like, what am I? I don't know what I'm thinking. So sorry about that. So my second, but of course there's no order, is Susannah Dawn. And she was on here earlier. I hope she's still here. But she's somebody that I connected with a couple of months ago. I was asking her for months to be on my show because I think she's one of the most interesting people. And it says quite literally on her profile that she is a storyteller, reinvention maven, and she is a storyteller. If you actually follow her, her stories are so intertwined with the forest, and we named this owl together. Well, she named the owl, but I told her she needed to name the owl because I name all animals, and my iguana is named Iggy. Like, that's just a neighbor of mine. So she tells great stories, and I find her very, very interesting. And she did recently reveal her biggest box. Like, she doesn't like to be put in boxes because of her decision to come out as trans, but she doesn't want to be in that box where, this is what I am. That's not who she is. She is Susannah, and she always has been, and she's known that since she was a child. But she doesn't want people to look at her that way. But it was important that she lives her truth. So I was honored that she decided to reveal that on the episode. And I think that's why she kept saying, no, 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 even though I knew she wasn't ready. And then she decided, I am ready to come out of the box. And now she's free to be who she is in a more public forum. So I'm really, really proud of her for that.
By the way, can I just comment on Susannah too? Because she also has storyteller in her headline. And I feel like I have the word storyteller in my headline. And I'm always intrigued by this. So I've been following Susannah, actually. But I feel like we're two opposite sides of a coin. But really, a really freaking good coin. And I mean, I'm just going to go into her content really quickly because this is the impression that I get. I write super short posts. I try to, like, super formatted, like super skimmable posts. Susannah is the opposite. I feel like she is really big on telling her story, but that's the thing that actually hooks me in. I don't know whether it's because it's the opposite of what I'm doing, and when I see her, just telling her story in her own way, not caring about how people, will like. I feel like huge chunks of text are usually intimidating when I see it, like, visually. With her content, that's never the case. I don't know what it is, but it's her storytelling skills. Like, if you read any of her posts, the recent posts, and the way she, like, almost sort of infuses the nature or some sort of deeper issue or some sort of deeper topic, like a bigger, broader topic, into her posts, it's unique. So I'm just gonna say that about her. Yeah, it's like her content is super unique, and the storyteller part that she has in her headline, it 100% rings true with every one of her posts.
Yeah, she's a brilliant writer in that way. And she really gets you in the story. Like, I want to know what's happening with all these animals that really she has no control over. but there's such a part of her story that, you know, we're like, what's going on with the hawk or the eagle? And I don't know all the names. Sorry, Suzanne, I can't remember.
Right?
Exactly. But I'm in suspense, you know. It's really good.
Yeah,
So
I agree.
thank you for commenting. I really appreciate that.
Awesome. Congratulations, Susannah. Okay, Tim, who is your second Hotness Unleasher, man?
My second one, again, another someone I just met in Austin, is Katie Mitchell. So this Katie I've been following for a while, especially from like learning about management. I learned a lot about her managing people from her. And she's also one of those people, like, she'll call you out in the comments, not like a bad way, but like give really good detailed comments. And I know there was mention of comment, like how important they are. She's really good at commenting on posts. But the comments, again, like could be intimidating, but if you meet her, I mean, she's like the sweetest person in the world.
Man, when you brought her up and I was like, oh, sweet. You know, I need to get to know Katie because, you know, I'm very interested in product marketing right now. Right. I really am. I resonate with that because I kind of see myself that way. Right. I see myself sort of in that role right now. And so I was like, it's been a little while since she's created new content, right? And that's not really her jam right now. So she's really like mostly in like those comments, you know, like you said. So it was a little bit harder for me to kind of get to know her, I think, in advance of this. So I don't know. Tell me about a conversation you guys had when you met her recently.
Well, that's the funny thing. She has no social media on her phone.
Really?
Like zero. Yeah.
Okay.
She's really good about that. She wanted to spend more time with her kids. No, I respect the crap out of it. Think about it. Like you have 38,000 followers. Mm-hmm. It's kind of like daunting to just not continue to post on that. But I respect that so much.
Totally. I mean, I think we just all have to recognize where we are, you know, what season of life we're in and be true to ourselves. Right. I mean, so I appreciate you bringing Katie here. We're going to acknowledge her and celebrate her as a Hotness Unleasher in your world right now, Tim, and in the rest of ours as you know, as we go forward. So with that, and in the interest of time, I am going to announce my second Hotness Unleasher as Nick Bennett. Now, I had the pleasure of, so I was in Florida this week and I was driving down, 4:00 in the morning or whatever to the Seattle airport, listening to Nick's, his podcast. And I'm listening to it and I'm like, this guy really gets it. Like he really knows how to run a podcast, right? A lot of times, podcasts can get kind of, I don't know, they become sort of like monologues, right? And where the guest will just sort of, just kind of drone on for a long time. And Nick was really great at having an actual conversation. And I really appreciated that. And I learned, I learned a lot about just this notion of, building a personal brand and how he kind of dove into that. And the thing that unleashes hotness from Nick, I mean, look at this, he's got 40,000 followers, right? The guy is everywhere, right? And yet any comment I leave on any of his stuff, any tag that I leave, he always instantaneously responds, and he responds like in a real way, right? And I just love that. I don't know. I said something silly the other day. I think it was Wednesday or whatever on my way home on one of his posts, and he was like, "Yeah, I totally dig that." And I got some kind of kooky ideas out here, right, in the whole sales and marketing B2B world, and they're not everybody digs them. But he got it, and just to have him validate that, right, was great. As a seller, we're trained, our DNA sort of evolves and mutates into being like, okay, we always have to like defer to whatever the client wants. We don't really get it. So stepping into our own voice is hard. And that is a unmutation. And I'm going through that now. Right. And so to have Nick as a marketer, as a guy who's established, as a guy who's really got a massive following, particularly in the audiences that I'm really connected with, is affirming. And that unleashes hotness, right? I mean, that's what it's really all about, for me with Nick.
I think that's actually his thing, is to respond. I'm pretty sure he's mentioned this before, but he responds to every single comment, like every single comment. He gets a lot of comments. So I don't know how he does it. But Nick also, I've been following him for a long time. To me, he's like at the forefront of B2B content creators because he's doing it a little different. Because most people, and there's nothing wrong with it, most people, when they get to a certain stage, they start selling a course. Nothing wrong with it. He didn't, but I've seen him try to monetize it in like monetization in the best way possible. Like he started different things. He's selling, actually, this is one of his sweatshirts. He sells different shirts and things like that. Like, I just think he's doing some really interesting things. I wish he would get on video a little bit more. He's trying. I think he's missing out there, but he'll get there. I hope he sees us so we can get there.
Well, I hope he sees us too. And he's going to get tagged. And guess what? If I know Nick at all, he'll notice and he'll engage. So
he'll probably comment to everything.
That's it. That is it. All right. So we're going to move on to the third round of Hotness Unleashers. All right. So Jay, you are up, man.
Okay. Third one. I'll keep it really quick because I could go on and on about Rosie Chong, but I don't want to because I would really just ask each and every one of you tuning in right now just to go and give her a follow. This girl, this woman is a spectacular human being. The thing that's mentioned first in her headline, LinkedIn's cheerleader. This is how I found out about her. She commented on one of my posts, and it was this outburst of energy, of positivity. And I'm like, I have to DM her. And I did, and I went to her profile, and she had freaking 30,000 followers. And then I really tried connecting with her. Like the topic she talks about, she's like an unfiltered, super, I don't even know how to describe her, like a bubble of positivity that just always bursts with every post. Like she'll just post the most random stuff. Like how many exclamation marks is enough in an email? Like what? Who asks that? But then people chime in, and she's like super positive about the whole thing. And she talks about topics that I don't talk about. Like she's really like all over the place as far as topics go, which is a superb thing to do because she has so many opinions. I feel like she's also getting into sort of this influencer level of content creator. She's also big on Instagram and TikTok. So I applaud her for that. She's not just on one platform, but the thing that's the most amazing thing about her for me is she also has a full-time job, which I only found out recently. Yeah. And she's super active. She's like really big on supporting people. And I feel like every single time I comment on one of her posts, people sort of like it. Like I always get a ton of likes on my comments on her posts because it just gives me a new platform to talk about things that I don't usually talk about. You know, like she really will mention the tough stuff that she's gone through in her career, the tough stuff that a lot of people are going through. And I don't necessarily talk about those stuff. I'm really big on just copywriting, brand messaging, all that sort of stuff, personal branding. She talks about a bunch more stuff. So it gives me just a chance to comment and really, really, engage with people and just provide a different perspective. So Rosie for the win. She is truly the #1 supporter. Emily as well. Like they have that in common. Emily Mireault, the first person I mentioned here, like they have that element in common. Like they're big on supporting people. So I applaud her. She definitely is deserving of this. She is.
Congratulations, Rosie Chong, man. Yeah. Awesome. Thanks for bringing her.
She's inspiring to me too, because she's very positive, real, down to earth, yet funny, witty, all of that. And she's just, she really draws you in because her opinions are real, and they provoke thought, but they also make you laugh at the same time. Like she's just so relatable to so many people, men and women, which is really hard to do sometimes. So I love that.
Man, and she's in Australia.
And her smile's contagious.
Yeah, I love it too. And
by the way, we're also in the presence of greatness. Mr. Ash is here. He just posted a comment. So just
I saw that. Yeah, Ash is here.
Super nice human being.
Yeah,
man, Ash is the LinkedIn king.
Ash is a stud. All right. So, Sandra J, it's back to you. So, who is your third Hotness Unleasher?
One of my favorite people, Lindsay Parker. And I know a lot of people here know her. She is, she's a coach like myself, but she's a coach and, as it says, a facilitator. She's another one. I don't know. She likes to write long posts as well, but I can't not read them. And there's a lot of times I will skip long posts as well, like what Jay said earlier, but she always tells stories. And a lot of her themes lately have been about nature. She lives in Banff, where she shares these most incredible photos, and she writes in a way that it's always my words are terrible today, guys. I'm so sorry. That first thing just threw me right off. But she puts things in such a way that she relates nature to her business in such a beautiful way that it's so relatable to all of us. I will say also she's one of the biggest supporters of, if you are connected to her, she's one of your biggest supporters as well. Her comments add so much value to what you're doing. She really makes you feel supported at all times. And I think I interviewed her back in July, and it was the #1 getting in your business, the taped version, because everybody just wanted to see what she had to say. And really, she's an incredible person to follow, to be supported by, and you'll just learn so much from her as well.
Love it. Thank you. Congratulations to Lindsay. I mean, bringing new people to the table like this is just fantastic. And that's what this is all about, right? It's just opening up our worlds to each other and, learning what's actually out there. So Tim, I'm going to take the table to you because we are running out of time fast. So Tim, who is your third Hotness Unleasher?
I'll make it quick. Tara Robertson. She works at Chili Piper. This is more from my world, demand gen, paid media, hosts a great podcast on the behalf of Chili Piper. There's so much you can learn there from just demand generation and marketing in general. Great person. Again, met her in Austin. Really, really nice person. Always helping out, giving it a good hand. Chili Piper also does events right. They create some great content. They just go there and they just, they're there. That type of thing. Tara, great person. From Canada too.
From Canada too. Yeah, that sort of seems to be another theme. And last week we had.
She's from Toronto. Ahead, thank you very much. She's from Toronto. Thank you very much. So that's what I loved about her. Said how can you not love a girl from Toronto? I mean, please. So I actually, she makes some great videos. Like I noticed she has a podcast that she does. I know she did one with you, Tim. I watched that one too. And she's into marketing. I don't really know that much about that kind of world, but I have to say her videos drew me in. They're nice and short, so you can get a little peek at them, and then you can just go for it after that. But again, the Toronto thing got me, of course, because that's where I'm from.
Nice. Now, before I announce my third Unleasher, I do want to say a couple things. One, Infused Media is a Chili Piper customer, right? So I'm very familiar with their product. It's great. It works. Love it. No complaints whatsoever. And then we had another Chili Piper employer, Aaron Wallace, on a previous, who was also announced as a Hotness Unleasher. And Chili Piper truly is one of the cool kids on LinkedIn, right? So there are companies that sort of stand out here in these circles. And Chili Piper is definitely one of them. They're a great corporate brand to follow in terms of how they do it, right? So like, metadata and so on, right? There's other cool cats out here who get it from from an org level. And, so thanks for bringing her to the table. Very familiar with that brand and all about it, Tim. So yeah, awesome. Okay. So my third Hotness Unleasher of the week is going to be none other than Lisa Edmondson. Now, Lisa, I don't know if you're here, but guess what? I've been meaning to call you out for a really long time. And the fact is, you have been so massively supportive of the Hotness Unleasher idea, engaging with me on a DM just on the spot. I mean, you're one of those people who, like it was just like a month ago or whatever, you're just like, bam, like in my brain, like what's going on? Like, why did that happen? And the willingness to engage and not say that as like, that was a weird thing. But no, I mean, this happens. So people come into our awareness. And then, just your willingness to like jump out there and create your own, I created the TBG. Now you just bam, you're out there and you just create this great big group of people who are into creating content and who are so tuned into the notion of the Social Saturday movement. And man, I just want to say thank you for being present, being available, and just continuing to, pay attention to me. And I feel it, and you're my third Hotness Unleasher. So there you go. Congratulations. This would be a much, much worse world if you weren't in it. So, thanks again. All right, guys. So with that, I want to just do a quick look in because we are running out of time super fast. I'd like to keep this to an hour. So, Jay, what do you got cooking for the next week?
Oh my goodness, so many things. I'm speaking on. I'm going to plug that right Yeah, by the way, it's getting dark here. It's 6 p.m. So I'm
I can see that.
What lights to press here? Yeah, this one probably, but it's gonna just throw me off.
Oh well, we know you're there.
Yeah, just working on a bunch of new projects with clients. My client list is up until February right now. Some of those projects are all the way till July. So I'm booked.
Ooh, you're busy.
Good problem to have. Good problem
all right.
to have.
TEDx,
So,
nice. Can't wait to tune into that. Okay, Sandra J, what do you got cooking for the next week?
I'm taking this week off and getting in your business, but the week after that, starting up again with Anna Duncan. So really excited to get that episode out to you guys. Well, it's going to be live, so join us live.
Can't wait to see that. I love Anna. Have missed her. Yeah, I know she's been going through a tough season, and yeah, that's gonna be fantastic. Okay, Tim, what you got cooking next week?
Nothing crazy. Just probably a couple of videos that'll go out, and might make a wrap maybe after all this talk.
There you go.
Puppy
there you go.
Love. Puppy
all
love.
right. I can't wait to see it, Tim, because your content's always just spot on, man. All right, so for me, Movember is going to be starting, so you're going to see all this come off. We're going to go with the horseshoe, right? So
me too.
That'll be exciting. Too. Yeah, you're going to grow one out.
Not me.
Yeah, you're gonna stick with the full beard. Nice. All right.
I like time, man.
Well, you know what? I got a lot of white over here, and so we're gonna roll with the full horseshoe stash, and you're just gonna have to get used to it. And the fact is, my wife and 2 daughters can't stand it. They're just like, "Oh, Dad, you're just terrible." So, but we're gonna rock that for the full month and support of men's health, and so that'll be a good change. And then tomorrow, I've been dreaming about telling a Halloween story because I got one. And so I'm going to pop that sucker out for Sunday, sort of Soul Search Sunday, because, it should be fun. I hope you guys can, check it out and enjoy it and take it for what it is. So with that, man, thank you everybody for coming on the show. You were all fantastic guests. Congratulations to all of our episode 11 Turquoise edition Hotness Unleashers. Love everybody. And with that, we are done. Take care, everybody.
Thanks, everyone.